Hey, it's Stan the Annuity Man. We're talking about annuity legacy income planning. We're talking about death again. Legacy equals death, right? The motivational stuff that I do. But hey, death is inevitable, right? As a good friend of mine who's in the life insurance business, and I'm not in the life insurance business, he has a saying that's so motivational, that's such a page turner. He says this, and he's kind of like, he's like 6 feet down. I'm 6'6", he's 6'8". So he's kind of lurchy. He's like, 100% of us are going to die. 1 out of 1 of us are going to die. That's fantastic. He's right. And with annuities, we need to plan for that. But with annuities, you can plan legacy from an income standpoint. See, because life insurance is the greatest return on investment you'll never see. Why? Because you're dead. Do I sell in life insurance? No. Are annuities issued by life insurance companies? Yes, but I don't sell life insurance. Life insurance is fantastic. I have a ton of life insurance on me that I purchased so that my wife and my daughters, when they drive from the funeral, they'll be like singing. It'll be fantastic. And that's what will happen. But with annuities, you can actually plan for legacy income, meaning that you're in the grave or your ashes are smoldering and your loved ones are getting an income stream. That's pretty cool. So let's talk about that after we hit the music. All right, so legacy income planning. Well, it makes sense that there's annuity legacy income planning. Why? Because annuities are primarily used for income. They were put on the planet in the Roman times as lifetime income stream guaranteed payments for the dutiful Roman soldiers and their families, and that was the origination of annuities. In fact, the word annual, which is Latin for payment, is the root word for annuity. And so that's where it all comes from. So from the standpoint of annuity legacy planning, you can do a lot of that. Just basic legacy planning is if you have a spouse or partner, you can set up a joint lifetime income annuity. What does that mean? With a 100% survivor, that means that when your Learjet hits the mountain, that means it goes poof, your Bentley hits the tree, your Ferrari flips and you die, all that stuff. When you die, and it's joint life, 100% survivor, means that your spouse or partner is going to get that income stream continued for the rest of their life, uninterrupted and unchanged, not lowered, the same amount, which is a good thing. That's the basic way of doing income planning from a legacy standpoint. Another way to do it is if you said, okay, forget the lifetime income stream, I want to buy a 30-year period certain or a 20-year period certain. What does period certain mean? It's pretty much what it says. The income stream is going to last for that specific period of time that you choose. So let's give an example. I had a guy the other day that was like, he was in his 70s. He goes, I really don't need the money, but what I'd like to do is set up an income stream. I want to use it while I'm alive, but when I die, I want the income stream to go to my grandchildren. Great. Okay, so what we did, we bought a 20-year period certain. Not all carriers will quote that, but a lot did. And so he probably is not going to live that much longer, right? 4 or 5 years. But let's just get that scenario, that example. 20-year period certain, and he lives 5 years. There's 15 more years of payments that are going to go to the listed beneficiary of the policy. And that, in this case, it was his grandchildren. So you can have a specific period of time annuity payout, and you can list those beneficiaries. And by the way, annuity beneficiaries can be changed at your leisure, at your whim, as many times as you want. If that beneficiary makes you mad, then you can remove that person from the policy. But, you know, annuities are contracts. It's legal tender. It passes outside of probate, so it's going to pay whoever you list. It is what it is. So that is another way to do legacy income planning. Still talking about death, lots to talk about when we're talking about death and annuities. Let's talk about deferred annuities like multi-year guarantee annuities, fixed indexed annuities, variable annuities, and how those pay at death. A lot of times and all policies are different, all carriers are different, and there's no uniformity. But if you have this type of accumulation type products, deferred type products, when you pass away, your beneficiaries have choices of how they're going to receive that money. Obviously, they can take it in a lump sum as a death benefit, but we're talking income from a death benefit standpoint. With some policies, they have the option of taking that lump sum in an income stream over a 5-year time period, which is a pretty good legacy income planning strategy. And also too, some policies allow that beneficiary to annuitize, in other words, create a payment stream for their life with that death benefit and stretch out the tax liability over their life expectancy. So once again, you can You can dictate that in the policy, or you could have a trust as beneficiary of the policy and have those instructions within the trust. There's a myriad of ways to do it. But what I want you to do is, if you own an annuity, start thinking about the death benefit portion, understand what the options are. And by the way, you can control it from the grave right now. You're not in the grave now, but you will be, right? Right, producer? Is that? Yeah, you will. Okay, but you need to think about it now. You need to talk to me. We can come up with that strategy and put it in place contractually, so it's going to happen regardless. The last one I want to talk to you about is called the Legacy Income Monster. I just put Legacy Income, LIM, Legacy Income Monster, okay? And this one is one that I use on occasion with the grandfathers of the world. Now, I'm not a grandfather yet, but it might happen, who knows? And if it does, I've got names that I want. If it's a girl, it's Stanielle or Stanetta, right, producer? Okay. Obviously, if it's a boy, it's Stan Jr. or Stanford, if we want to do that. And I think those 4 choices cover both. So, if they're twins, what I tried to do, producer, is give 2 names. So Stanielle and Stanetta, which I love. Stanielle's really good. And then Stan Jr. and Stanford. So I digress. So you're the grandfather, and I had this happen the other day. I had an 82-year-old grandfather call, and he wanted to do, he had written some articles on the Legacy Income Monster, and he thought that was pretty cool. And what it is he wanted to take his, I believe it was a 4-year-old grandson, so he's 82 and his grandson's 4, and he wanted to do a joint life immediate annuity, a joint life single premium immediate annuity. So immediate annuity payments are based on your life expectancy, or in this case, life expectancies at the time of the payment. And he put a big lump sum in to fund it. But what the grandfather wanted to do, which is pretty cool, is to set up a lifetime income stream. He did not want his grandson to get a lump sum or something like that. He wanted him to get an income stream that was going to hit every single month. And think about that legacy. If you're out there with grandkids or kids or whatever that are younger, you can have that monthly income stream hitting their bank account every single month for the rest of their life, regardless of how long you live. And if they hate you, they're not going to hate you for long as that income starts flowing in. Now, how that works, the Legacy Income Monster works, is that the payments are primarily based on that 4-year-old or on the younger of the 2. The annuity company almost doesn't even look at that older life expectancy because it's irrelevant. But for the grandfather, it really did not matter to him, and I thought that was pretty good. Now, there are some nuances that we're going to have to work with you on how to set up the contract, and work with your CPA and lawyers to make sure that all the boxes are checked from an estate planning standpoint, and we do that every single time with those types of legacy income plans. But just put it in the back of your mind, with all annuities that I recommend and sell, we go through just a basic 2-question scenario to get started. And the first is, what do you want the money to contractually do? And when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? From those 2 questions and those 2 answers, we then start shopping the annuity type with all carriers for the highest contractual guarantee. So depending on what your legacy plan is from an income standpoint for your beneficiaries, you just have to tell me. I will be straight with you if we can't do it contractually, but I'll also tell you if we can. And if we can, then we can go shop it. So put it in the back of your mind that there is such a thing as legacy income, not just a legacy death benefit for lump sum, but you can have a legacy death benefit for income. All right, so I did another video about annuities versus life insurance. And again, life insurance companies issue annuities. I know that's kind of convoluted, but just remember this: life insurance, that death benefit passes tax-free and lump sum to the beneficiaries. With annuities, the beneficiaries will have to pay taxes on it. From the standpoint of income or a lifetime income stream, from a death benefit standpoint, you can lengthen out that tax liability over life expectancies, which is always a good thing. With that being said, I know this was a little bit complicated, but annuities can be complicated from a strategy standpoint. I will strip all that away from you and work with you one-on-one to create a customized plan for you. I would encourage you to go to stantheannuityman.com or theannuityman.com, whatever you want to type in. It's going to get you to the same place. And we're going to work together to put together that plan. You can also get my books. I'll send them to you for free. And I do podcasts, I write blogs, and I write articles pretty much every day. So I'm educating the public out there on all things annuity. But maybe this is a new one for you: legacy income planning using annuities. Think about it, and I'll see you on the next Stan the Annuity Man video.